Okay, this is Jason Liu, Inside Program Manager at Ohio State University. This is a gigantic pile of paperwork. I am going to be going through this to kind of... all of this paperwork was separated into 6 different filing cabinets located throughout our office area. I have consolidated all of this into these files here that we need in one centralized location. I am going to use this as a documentation record, just to make sure that people are aware of what I got rid of and why I got rid of it, and just to make sure that nothing else was done. So let's go through this. Okay, first is job hazard analysis forms. The analysis forms don't need to be kept because they are currently all in the SOP binder. Having them twice over is redundant. The next is folders upon folders of Cintas uniform receipts. In the SOP, it originally listed that we needed to keep these and send these to Cincinnati. I contacted Cincinnati, and Cincinnati said that that this was never something that actually happened. There's no reason that we need to keep these. There's no requirement. There's no legal requirement, so there's no reason to keep them. So we will not be keeping them anymore. Next is a series of Dong Tong packs. He is a chemist that we have at Ohio State that does self-packs. These are from various years that he is no longer here, so there's no reason. All of this stuff has long been gone. We already have copies of the manifest, etc. saved in our system, in the Clean Harbors web system. There's no reason to have redundant copies. Same for these, 2016. Next is profile SDSs. There is no reason for the profile SDSs to be on site because, according to the profile group CPG that I contacted about this, any profile that has a specific SDS attached to that profile is saved in our Clean Harbors system. Having that profile here having the SDS for that profile here is redundant. It is not a legal requirement from that standpoint. The next is we have the saved work log, work time worksheets. There's no legal requirement for us to have these as well. All of these are in the system. There's a scanning option, which all of these have been scanned. Keeping them after that fact is redundant and takes up a lot of time and energy and space, so we will not be doing that anymore as well. And again, these are safety data sheets for profiles that we do not need on site. More worksheets. No real reason to keep these. These are already scanned into the system, and even if they're not scanned into, if they weren't scanned into the system by the program manager that was here at the time, they've been invoiced and agreed upon and paid out many years ago. This one's from 2014. There's just no reason to keep that. It's just redundant work. Annual performance reviews for employees that are no longer here. No reason to keep those as well. Job interviews. Clean pack chemist. So there's lots of job interviews, resumes. There's no reason to keep those as well. These are just nothing but resumes. Inside chemist interviews. These are old health and safety forms for the weekly meetings. There's no legal requirement to keep those. They should have been scanned into the system. It is not required by OSHA that we need to keep those. Training documents. Training sign-in sheets. We need to keep those. Training documents, we need to keep those. All of our training is covered in our online system. There's no reason to keep all of this extra work. Previous SOP manuals, standard operating manuals. No reason to keep those as well. This is basically record training that Ohio State outsources. No reason to keep all of that training on site. Let's see. Old hazardous waste plans that are no longer apply. Waste profiling from a different company. These are profile SDSs, no longer apply. They do not apply because if they want the profile is attached in the system. More training documents, tests, etc. What else do we have here? We have safety alerts, that memos that were printed out for some reason. Drum closure instructions, we have these and these are important, but we have all of the relevant ones in our SOP binder. Having them in a separate folder is redundant. Old JHAs. Again, those are not required, and since they're not required, because the most current JHAs are located online as well as in our SOP binder, having them filed is redundant. These are old Don Tom packs. Again, having this when having old packing lists like that is redundant. We don't need to keep those. These are old sign-in sheets. We don't need to keep those. Old chemist interviews. Yep, you don't need to keep somebody's job interview. You don't work here, you don't need to keep them anyway. Let's see, Ohio driver license manual. This is outdated by 7 years. Driving policy, not something that we legally need to keep. Our driving policies are found online through our online system. Let's see what we have here. Old packing list, no longer relevant. Shipped out a long time ago. Let's see. Old Dong Tong packs again. Let's see. Again, old. All of these have been disposed of. There's no legal reason to keep them. Nope. No training records.